Your edges are really laid, sis.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going. Can you say testing?
Testing. You're cute. I like your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. You may feel tired, but you don't look tired and hard. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad. All right, so we're gonna start with a little introduction. You can say your first and last name, and when you were born, or you can just say how old you are. It's not that deep. Or you can just say, your generation or whatever.
My name is Armarja LaRue Hill. I'm 23. So I was born in 96. Yeah.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
It says, what do you do for a living? Okay. You have a lot of jobs.
I have a lot of jobs. I'm a student, I guess. But, I work in the ID office of the Mizzou Student Center. I'm a videographer, freelance, and, for the university. I'm a journalism ambassador. I'm an RA. And then I Uber and Lyft sometimes.
Okay, so, what are your hobbies?
Honestly, I don't really think I have a lot of time for hobbies. Mostly watching film, like watching movies and things like that. Writing. Actually, I really do like writing. And yeah, that's kind of really my only hobbies at this time.
Why do you have so many jobs?
I come from a very poor family. My mom makes like $10,000 a year, so I have to pretty much self-support. And to keep up with the bills that come with adult lifestyle and the minimum wage that I basically make, a little bit more, but still, I have to have those varying jobs. Each job kind of serves a purpose in helping support me.
And what does that look like with having to deal with your schoolwork and the videography and stuff like that? How do you maintain, sanity?
I low-key don't maintain sanity. But I pretty much really just have a very strict schedule, and people don't necessarily understand that. Because I definitely am taking a 20 credit hour class load of 4,000 level classes between the J school and the College of Engineering, or both my majors. So then my jobs really help me out because they're usually pretty flexible. I can move them. And so I could never work off campus because of how my schedule changes based off what school needs and stuff like that. And so really just being scheduled, but at the same time having some flexibility is really how I maintain my sanity when working on these jobs and school. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna sort of get into the second topic. That was my introduction. So we're gonna talk about views on romantic relationships.
Ooh, child.
So what's your previous dating history?
Oh man. Okay. I'm only 23, right? So I haven't dated a lot. But I started quote unquote dating. I say my first relationship was I was 15. That's so young when I think about it. Wow. I was 15. I dated this guy who was a year older than me in high school, and we dated for almost 3 or 4 years. Yeah, we started dating in 2011, and then 2014 is when we broke up. And then after that, I don't know, I just really like relationships for some reason, because soon after we broke up, I hopped into another relationship with this guy who, with this guy from the year, 2014, almost 2015, to just months ago, just now, that we dated. So that's almost 5 years. In fact, our 5-year anniversary is today, actually, which is kind of crazy. If we were to we were still together, but we broke up, so.
Okay, so you said that you really like relationships.
Really?
So you keep hopped into another one. Do you have Or do you think you have any reason, or do you know why you like relationships so much, or are you still trying to figure that out?
I love to blame things on like my father issues and my parental issues, but I know I definitely do. Besides all like the existential crisis jokes, I actually really do like that blanket of security that you get when you form like a really good relationship with someone. Even with my friendships, I like really strong like friendships, and so I love partnerships or relationships where people are like we're we're really striving towards like melding together and like supporting and being there for each other, and that concept is really like what I love, and I especially think because I didn't get a lot of it. And so I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just looking for, I guess I'm necessarily looking for support and affection, all of that wrapped into it. That does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
that's why it kind of leads into the next question I was going to ask. But how would you define love, or what does love mean to you?
I feel like everyone and their mom was gonna say unconditional love means unconditional, and I'm gonna be like, nah. So I'm gonna try my hardest to stray away from that. I think love means continuing your choice. I feel like with people, when you connect with them in any type of capacity, friendship, whatever, you actively have to choose them. Like, you can walk away from them at any moment, right? You could just be like, I'm done working with you. If they're your work partner. With friends, you could be like, I'm just not your friend. And then, like, ultimately in love, you're like, I'm done loving you. And so to me, love means that you're continuing to choose that person despite whatever or because of whatever. And like if you can always continue to be like, yeah, no, I like choose you to be a part of my life and accept them, then I think that's like love in its purest form. But it's interesting to me, right? Because like if you were talking about parents and shit, parents and stuff, like you can't not choose them. Like the moment you go, I don't choose to love my parent, is like weird. And there are people who go through that. I've gone through that, and that's like a different type of love. But like with just general in relationships, it's like a continued choice. That makes sense.
Okay, I really like that. I enjoyed that answer. Definitely, we've gotten like a variation of answers, but that was a really good one.
Oop. Hello, Zoom thing. Falling off, I see. Ha 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 ha.
You had us, but you didn't. Ha!
Bitch. It's like a bug that's legs is too small for his body.
What did your parents teach you about love, and how do you think that influenced? You kind of touched on this a little bit too. How did that relationship with your parents and the way they showed love to you, how did that influence the way you experience love? If that makes sense.
Ooh, my parents didn't teach me shit about love. Yeah, no, like, the cringiest episode of The Office was, like, watching my parents try to be loving, and everything. Even to this day, my mom calls me, it don't be like, hey, I care. She runs through me like a checklist. How are you doing? Don't really care about that. What's your money looking like? Is your car good? All right, goodbye. Like, it's not, my family has never been super, like, loving, more so controlling and everything like that. So I've learned a lot of things not to do from my family. Like my mom and my dad never got married, and they have kids with other people, by other people too. So I have a lot of like half siblings, which I still love like them whole. But watching them operate in the atmosphere of relationship and then how they operate within family settings is very disconnected. And ultimately, they, like, this kind of goes back to what I was saying, but they choose themselves over other people, which if you're gonna love people, you can't always do. Yeah, you have to choose yourself. But, like, for instance, my dad, he's just, like, one time he called me, like, he called me, like, 3-4 days, maybe almost a week late after my birthday. and told me that he had gotten me some land for my birthday, which I was like maybe 21. What I need land for? I mean, like, thank you for my future, but yeah, it was just random. And then he just he like emailed me. He can't really use email, so he like forwarded me some like the email, not realizing that I could read some of the information that he forwarded, and it was not for me. The land was not under my name, this and that. And it's just like he just wanted to like feel better about himself, because like, you know, he forgot my birthday. And on the same flip, that same birthday, my mom I think that my mom had like gotten sick with like some stomach bug, and she forgot my birthday too. And I spent the whole day like taking care of her, and it wasn't until like almost the evening when she realized it was my birthday, and she said happy birthday. But then like she was feeling better, and then did some coke, and then went on a coke and fueled rage that just like ruined the rest of my birthday. So like, I mean, those are small, not small, they're things I'm gonna always remember, but like the way that they act is like super selfish. And I just like learned that that's not what love is. That's not how you take care of people you care for, and it's not about you. And so I've learned a lot about how not to love from my parents.
That's deep. Whew.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's the purpose of this interview. Okay, I'm gonna probably go back to that later.
LOL.
Not gonna get into it too heavy right now. Let's transition on into singleness.
Ooh, this shit's ghetto. Singleness is ghetto for the birds. I mean, but I also love relationships. But no, what's your question?
First question: are you actively looking for a relationship right now?
Honestly, I can't say I am, even though, like, I don't want a relationship, and I recognize that, like, one, so I don't turn out like my parents, and just in general, I need to be by myself, and that's a very hard concept for me to swallow, which is why it's been funny, because my, like, single likeness, like me shooting my shot at guys just to like casually date, has been really horrible and going anywhere. And so it's really, I feel like the universe being like, girl, sit down, you know, you need to be by yourself. And yeah, so I'm not really looking for anything. I would like, you know, guy to hang out with, talk, you know, casually date, you know, company, I guess, really, when I want it, but not like actively making like compromises and life decisions and choices based on another person type relationship. I don't want to do that right now in my life again.
Okay. So do you think that it's been pretty difficult not being in a relationship? Like, how long do you go? So when you get done with the relationship, what does that gap look like for you before you get into another relationship? Is it long? Is it short?
It hasn't been long before, but it really needs to be long. Like, I mean years long right now. Because I spent, what, ages 15 to 23 in a relationship? Like, you know, that's prime adolescence right there that I should have been, like, developing. But I spent a lot of time compromising. So it definitely needs to be a long time for I, like, really try to be with anybody. You asked another part of your question. What else was a part?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I said, what is that gap? Like, how long is the gap normally between one relationship and another? Because I know you said you had the one where you were 15.
Yeah, I would definitely say them gaps are not long. Like, even before that 15 one that I like count because it was so long, I'm pretty sure I was like, you know, middle school, high school, like dating some other guy. Like, I've definitely just like hopped around relationship, maybe like a month out, like month difference, month of singleness between. Yeah, but that's not healthy. Yeah, but that's what it was, maybe a month between each of these.
So what do you think navigating singleness is going to look like for you? Like, how are you going to really build that connection, build that relationship with yourself?
That's a good question. I'm really trying to focus on me. Haha, everyone says that when they're single. And that shit is hard. Like, focusing on yourself is so hard because the world doesn't allow for that. Like, the world is literally a big thing of distraction. And I can't lock myself in my room and just think about me. I have to actively dedicate time towards myself. And that's weird because I used to actively dedicate time towards, like, an individual that wasn't me. And that's become so ingrained in me. I'm such a, I would say, a giving person. Like, I have to, like, all right, go to the gym for you, not for anyone else, not to look better for a future date or potential, like, just for you, because sis, you need to go to the gym, you can't even run a mile, like things like that. Or like, okay, so you have this free time where you're not talking on the phone with your ex-boyfriend, write write a script, do something that helps, like, your passion. And like, that's really hard to dedicate that time. Like, you'll find any way to feel it. So I've been struggling with just like accepting that I need to be focusing on me, but then like also doing things that help focus on me and to like not be worried about dating and stuff like that, because it's very weird being single now. Like even like my life is operating, my life operates differently now that I'm not in a relationship. I don't have to like talk things through with a person. I don't have another person to just talk everything, every decision I make with through. And like all of these different compromises you make when you're with someone, like, wow. And so I kind of have to just really get like restructure my mind to be like, it's me, it's about me, it's for you. Like, your life is a for you, about you, by you. It's like FUBU, but like life. That was weird, but yeah. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yes. Okay, that was good. Do you think it is necessary to be in a romantic relationship?
Long term, life wise, or just like now?
Just like period, like in general, do you think it's necessary to be in a romantic relationship to feel anything or to feel complete, or basically, yeah?
Honestly, yes. Like, yes, as much as we don't want to say yes, like everyone wants to be super self-sufficient, like humans love like having somebody, like, and it's sad, like, you know, you hear people who like older people who may pass away, and then like their spouse will pass away shortly after them, because like that's life, you know, they like love that person. And I don't think we want to admit that, but yeah, you definitely need another person in this world. And you definitely we all want love. No one wants to be lonely, and everyone wants to be understood. And that's what relationships are supposed to bring you. And it's supposed to bring you some like inner peace, like that in this world there was someone who like ultimately like thought you were like amazing. And there's something about that humans just crave, like that concept. And so as much as we don't want to, it's like we need it. But there are some people in this world who are very successful in giving themselves that. And so those people, like the few of them, don't seem to need, like, what is it, like Tracy Ellis Ross? Ooh, probably shouldn't say her name. But what, she's like not married, don't have any kids, and but she like truly loves herself. Or in general, people who can like truly love themselves and give them everything, like all the validation, love, security, or whatever that like they look for in another person. Like, there's a few people like that, but like I think they just found it in themselves versus everyone else who can't figure out how to grab that, and so they need that external, if that makes sense. So yes, essentially I do think that we all kind of like, you know, need, yes, relationships are pretty much essential for life. Hopefully, you know, you get one, but if you have a great one with yourself, it works too.
Period.
Sorry.
It's okay. Do you feel pressure to find a partner, find someone? If so, who is this pressure coming from?
I don't feel any pressure. Sometimes my mom, like, she never understood. Like, my ex cheated on me, and the ex before that was just like, we just weren't compatible. And sometimes my mom and my family would just bring up my exes, like, and just expect me to be like, oh, I forgive you, and go back to them. Like, what? Why would you want me to go back to a man who cheated on me? You know, why would you want me to go back to a man who was like maybe a narcissist and like didn't understand me? Like, so I don't feel.
I was making sure it's still recording.
Oh, I don't feel any pressure really, but that's just funny because like I guess that would be pressure if I don't listen to my family like that because I'm my own person. But yeah, I don't really feel any pressure. The most pressure I feel is like from myself just wanting that, but like even then it's not that like longing. I'm really chilling, to be honest.
Okay. What qualities do you look for in your ideal partner?
That's a great question. It's crazy because someone, hold on, sorry, they are tweaking. Okay.
These audio levels are looking decent. I think they were fine. Yeah, it's fine.
So it's funny because my like best friends when I became single, part of their healing process or whatever was making me write down what I want. Can I read it off to you? Her thing is though is like it's like a moving list because I never really got asked that question before and I never really thought of it. They were like make this list and then like if guys don't match up to most of it, like then get rid of it. Yeah, cut them exactly. And so I've been trying to do that. So this is what this list is. A guy who's funny and makes me laugh, supportive, especially when I'm insecure, believes in my biggest dreams even when I don't, has his own thing, passion, something where I can support him and help him grow. He listens to listen and not listen to judge me or my life or past. Somebody who's willing to go on adventures with me and be daring. Hopefully an animal nature lover who loves the environment. And I said animals again. I don't know what I was thinking. A nerd who is always down for personal growth and learning and like knows like no limits to self. So basically just someone who's not like gonna be like that's not for me just because I said so, but someone who's open to most, which I kind of already said that. A worldly thinker who thinks abstractly. That may sound weird, but I think very abstractly, and I get sick and tired of having ordinary or dull like conversations with people, and so I think if you can think as whatever as me, I guess I don't know. That sounds kind of narcissistic, but yeah, I would just like to be able to talk to you about anything, everything, weird or not, and then he trusts me and I trust him. Mutual trust. That's it. They make sure that I didn't put any physical stuff down because like physical stuff basically is like that really isn't a person. A person can't change their physical stuff. And I agree. So yep, that's my list.
I like it. Love that. Actually, I should make a list too.
It's very helpful. Their lists were longer, and I was like, y'all, that's a lot. This is what I got. They're like, it's a good starter list. I said starter list. This feels like a lot already.
It's good though. I don't remember this question. Okay, growing up, how was singleness viewed to you within society?
Ooh. So how do I think about singleness in terms of society?
How was singleness viewed by society? Like, what was everyone?
Ooh.
How was singleness perceived when you were growing up?
Honestly, singleness was definitely like a negative thing. Like being by yourself, and especially at like different ages as a woman or whatever was very like not it. My mom being a single mom, I used to be embarrassed a little bit because she was a single mom. Like, I don't know, it's just like weird. I think it was other factors like the poverty and then like how my mom acted sometimes, but like yeah, no, I would be embarrassed to tell like a single single. I think there's like a lot of negative, especially as a woman, like yeah, being single is not good as a woman. It just means you're not wanted in the world. You're like if you go to a store and like someone tries on like a white shirt with makeup and then they're like, all right, well, now you're kind of done for, so we're just gonna put you in this other rack and get rid of you. That's what it's like. I feel like that's how I viewed single women growing up, if that makes sense. Just like, the messed up like clothes on the rack. That makes sense.
Do you think that's part of the reason why you could you wouldn't stay single for a long time.
Definitely. Like, my biggest fear was, like, my mom told me this story when I was little. A lot of my life, like, stems from my mom. I mean, I'm only 23, so everything she pretty much said, even if it was trash, resonates with me. But she told me this story about how she, like, was in love with this guy in high school, right? Bear with me, I promise this story has a purpose. But how she was in love with this guy in high school, and, like, they had dated for almost her whole high school time. And then he, like, he graduated with a degree, like some type of technical certification in aerospace type stuff, and moved out to California. And he asked her to come with him. And that's a very pivotal moment in my mom's life, because even today she cries about it. She has night terrors because she didn't go with him because she wanted to focus on her career and stuff. And, like, they ended up, like, they tried a long distance for like a year and it didn't work out. And, like, if my mom, it's crazy because my mom, if she was, like, so focused on herself and being single that sometimes I think it ruined her. Isn't it messed up? Because, like, they broke up, and, like, for years for 20 years he didn't, like, get married. Like, they stayed in contact for, like, a couple, like, 5 or something years after that. And then, like, his parents still are back home in Kansas City, and they see my mom all the time at this movie theater I used to work at. And they talk about her, like, they talk about how he, like, loved her still, and, like, he was just waiting on her to come out there. But she never did because she was so focused on being single and by herself and, like, being her own entity. And, like, well, I'm thankful because I wouldn't be born for real, like, or at least half of me wouldn't be born like I am. I wonder how much that ruined, like, that single mindset ruined my mom's life, because she's still heartbroken, and she's, like, 59 to this day over this guy she hasn't dated since she was, like, maybe 22. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a reason why I'm, like, very, like, not single. Like, I definitely value people a lot more because I'm afraid that will happen to me.
I feel that. I can definitely.
I hope I'm not being long-winded.
No, these are very, like, direct and personal. I feel like these are different than what we have received.
That's dangerous because it's going to be weird to cut it and edit it and flow.
Yours is just very, like, it's what I wanted. Something that's a little more personal. Instead of, like, giving advice, I feel like the last one we had was more like giving advice of what you, and I'm just like, I want you to person.
What was that? What age was that person?
He was older.
That's probably why.
I think that was why.
I think if you're young interviewing an older person about his mindset and generation, they're going to give you advice. If you were the same age, like maybe Stacy interviewing him, he probably wouldn't advise you. That's something I think none of us thought about as we were interviewing. Damn, should I go to Doc J? It's 12:42. I look a mess. I haven't showered. I haven't brushed my teeth. I've only slept an hour and a half.
I don't know what we're doing today.
I think he just wants updates on our project.
Well, my group will be giving me updates while I am still doing my job. Okay, wait, I lost where I was.
I'm sorry, we last talked about why, like, my viewpoint of the single society.
Oh.
Do you think, and then it's kind of a sub-question.
Answer all those other questions. Okay. Now we're going to transition into dating. Yay!
Ooh, child, that shit's hard. Dating is so damn hard, like, especially with this, man, I got some tea. Oh, dating is hard. Let's go ahead. Ask your questions.
Okay, I was going to ask you, how did you meet? Let's go with, how did you meet the first dude when you were 15?
Like, 15, I mean, high school shit. Like, we were in high school. Like, I was in advanced honors chemistry, something where I was, like, a grade above. And for him, it was, like, regular chemistry. And so we had, like, a lab group or something like that one time. Like, lab groups rotated, and him and I ended up being lab partners. And then one day, like, on some, like, greaser, like, high school type stuff, like, because he was, like, one of the stars of the football team, and I was, like, this little nerdy girl. It was very, like, cliche, like, Taylor Swift song, even though I don't like Taylor Swift. Anyway, but it was a very cliche Taylor Swift dream song where he just, like, cornered me in my locker and was like, hey, can I, like, take you out on a date sometime? And I was like, he paid attention to me, like, you know, whatever. And so then that went from there, and he like really like loved me, and I kind of broke his heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even really worried about that one. I'm worried about the most recent one. How did you meet?
My ex, the most recent. Ooh. So this is a funny story because we don't talk about this story, but I'm gonna give you all of the real details in like 1 minute. All right. So, I was in high school. I promise it's not as creepy as it's starting to sound. So my ex was 3 years older than me. So I was in high school, and we were part of I wanted to be an engineer. So I was applying to this engineering school down like an hour and a half south from Columbia in Rolla, right? Missouri S&T. And so they had a pre-college program that I applied to and got accepted into. And the guy who I ended up dating, ran that college program. During that weekend that I went, I had a crush on him, but he literally was like, "Ew, stay the fuck away from me," like, "Ew." And I was like, okay, like, well, he didn't act like that. He was still like nice and ran the program, but like that's what he was low key thinking. And then like year 1 goes by, I'm a junior. I'm first met him, have a crush. Year 2 goes by, this and that. 3rd year, like, he ends up being my matched mentor for this like diversity program, and so now he's my mentor. Still, like, I'm like, oh, he's cute. And so we hang out more and more, and like then things just kind of hit off, and he's like weird because he's like, I don't want to like date you because like how we met, and you're like young, you're 3 years younger than me, and this only works because engineering school, it takes like 6 years to graduate. So like we had time where it could work out, you know what I'm saying, unlike regular 4-year school. But so yeah, we kind of just started dating, and then after like a lot of just like what are we doing, we were like, all right, we're like together in a relationship. And then it was pretty much smooth sailing. But not that I twisted his arms in a relationship, but I was just like, we're not gonna keep messing with you, yeah, if we don't like just do it. So I guess I gave him an ultimatum, and it worked out for 5 years.
Okay. Okay, since you're single now, when you do want to have a romantic partner, how are you going to go about finding one?
I don't know. Cause like, okay, so I've been in a relationship for 5 years, and before that, like, whatever, and everything's been proximity. Like, every guy I've ever dated has been like around, and so, by the time I probably want to start dating again, I'll probably be in some foreign city, like being a real adult. And I've lived that real adult lifestyle, and like it's not even proximity, you just meet people. And for me, being like a homebody and everything, like meeting people is like really hard, and I'm weird, and like you have to get to know me. I feel like I'm gonna end up trying to date a lot of people who are my friends because I'm used to proximity, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I have to actually go like meet people and like be like, I'm cute, you're cute, like, let's like, you know, that's wild, that's so horrible. Why can't I just, you know, I just want that natural, like, we're in the library studying, you look at me, I look at you, and we're like, you know what, I can fuck with you, I can fuck with you too, that's it. I mess with you too, like, let's date, you know. That's what I wish life could be, but realistically it's not. So I really don't know what I'm gonna do when I finally want to date, like Tinder, like meet, like physically go out and meet people. I have to run through all of those. Oh, it's scary. It's a cold world out there, and that's weird. People are weird. Like, I don't have enough social etiquette for dating, so I don't know. Good question. Shoot, help me out.
I can't help you. Definitely cannot. Oh, this is kind of what we just said, but not really. What are the places to go if you are looking for a date?
Okay, this is what I think they say you're supposed to go, but like low key, this don't work. All right. People say go out to parties. First of all, you stand in a circle with your same 6 friends you came to. So like if you go out to a club, you stand with the same 6 people, and women usually, like, I'm shy when it comes to men, so I really be having to wait. And like, I'm adorable, not like sexy. So in most settings, like, my friends are like sexier than me, and so they pull like a lot of guys, and then I'll be the girl that's like, I'll hold y'all purses while y'all dance with these guys. Like, I'm always that girl. So that like never works for me. Like, never. Like, some girls be like, oh yeah, like another place is like, oh yeah, so the guys slide in DMs. No guy has ever slid in my DMs, like, on any social media. And if he slid in my DMs, it's probably to promote a party. So no, like, real guy has been like, I think you cute based off this 3 Instagram photos you posted. That's never happened to me. So yeah, I don't really know. Like, that's the ways that people meet. Like Tinder, I'm too scared for that. I watch too much CSI and Law and Order to be playing those games. I don't know. Like, where do you? I don't know. Like, yeah.
Can you explain what sliding in the DMs is?
Okay, this is such a foreign concept to me, but this is what I got. So sliding in DMs, so like Twitter, mostly Twitter or Instagram. Pretty much, someone like finds you attractive, and they go through this weird process, right? Of like they'll like your stuff to test the waters, and then like if you like stuff back, they'll like your back, and then it's like you go back and forth until like you reach the point where it's like you're liking things in a creepy amount, but since you guys are both like kind of doing it back, someone likes each other, and then one person, usually the man, unfortunately, even though I don't necessarily agree with this, usually the man will like direct message you or use the messaging capability on the social media app and like start trying to have a conversation with you. And the craziest part about this concept to me is that you can know this person. Like, I could walk around this campus of Mizzou and like play this little game on social media, and then like the guy be the same guy from my class or that I see in the student center all the time, when he could have just walked up to me. But now, because it's safer and less social interaction and low-key more disconnect, he could just slide, quote unquote, into your direct messages or DMs and start hitting on you or having a conversation with you of interest. That's such a concept. Like, can we just talk in person, please?
Do you think people are unable to have these normal social interactions because of social media?
Ew. I think social media has made people hyper aware of what they do. And so I do think that people are very like nervous about like all of the social implications of dating. So yeah, I do think, not maybe necessarily because of social media, but like it can like a factor. Like, for instance, it's like this running joke that women don't like openly like start the first date or whatever like that, or try to like slide in guys' DMs and stuff, because they like, women just don't shoot their shot, or just they don't try to like go pursue men, right? And this is in the heterosexual standpoint, right? But I really think that like there's probably a lot of girls that do, but I don't think that social media helps fuel, because like even me, I asked my ex out like on a first date, and like I like the me courting as much as he's courting me. Wow, courting, how old am I, right? And but like social media really had me thinking for a little minute that I was like tripping to like go after. So I do think that it's like a weird thing social media probably does, like weird in like dating practices, and makes people it makes it a little easier to just like mass date, if that makes sense. Like to mass try to date people or shoot your shot or DM and everything. Like you can literally copy and paste a message, send out to multiple people. And that's crazy when you think about it. And yeah, that's it.
Can you tell me what shooting the shot is?
Shooting the shot. It's like the same concept as like you are just basically just trying, like you're just pretty much are out on a limb, like trying to pique interest in somebody, like essentially like it's basically as cold as just like walking up to someone being like, I think you're cute. But shooting a shot, again, usually takes place on social media. Most people don't just walk up and be like, you're cute, because people are like, that's weird. When it's not. It's like low-key better. And I feel like more of your shots, quote unquote, will go in if you did that in person, because it's a little less weird and calculated, in my opinion.
Okay, this is a funny question. Do you know what a situationship is? Have you ever been one? Do you think it's problematic?
Yo, I go back and forth on this. I would personally love a situationship right now. Someone to mess with, but I'm not tied to them, but like they provide me similar things. Yes, it's problematic. So problematic. Why do I want one? I don't know. It just sounds fun. I've never had one. I've always been in a relationship, bro. But like, all right, so I definitely do think it's problematic though, because pretty much like you can, you can end up like really like liking someone, but because of the boundaries y'all set before, actually that's a lie. I have been in a situationship. My ex and I started off as a situationship. How candid can I be? Can I just say anything I want?
Yes.
Well, we started off fucking. Is that too candid?
I feel like you can just say like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we had a very intimate relationship where we were good friends. We studied together, like, and then we will also like have sex, and like that. Those emotions, no ties, like got to a point where it's like, all right. So I know it originally I said like I don't want to be in a relationship, but now we're in a situationship, and I would like to move to a relationship. And like it's weird because you get to that point where, like in the instance, he was like, and so now y'all both looking at each other like, and so that's that's not it. It's definitely problematic, and it can cause more like hurt feelings than anything. But if you go in with the mindset that like you're really not in for anything, it could work, but you could also end up hurting people. I feel like 9 times out of 10, any situationship doesn't end right. I still want one though, for we'll see. That's weird, right? You want the companionship, but you just don't want like real commitment, because you want to be able to leave the companionship at any time. You want your cake and eat it too, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, it's not magic cake, bro. Sorry, that was a tangent. My nails are dirty. I got hot chips and stuff under them.
Yeah, situationships are very risky.
Yerp.
And
Yerp, yerp, yerp,
it
yerp.
always sounds good in theory, but never actually is.
I know, yeah. I want one with my friend currently.
Okay.
Yeah. That's actually really horrible.
Don't ruin the friendship.
Yeah.
Okay. We are not nearly done.
I'm sorry I talk so much.
It's because I'm asking like a lot of follow-up questions. A lot of these are not on here.
Okay.
But I feel like they're making it better. So, you talked about situationship. How do you express your intimate feelings to someone? And you can talk about social media if you use that to express your feelings as well.
I got you.
Twisted. Oop. I think that's better. My stomach's on fire.
I'm sorry. You can eat some of them hot chips and that'll help. Alright, so you asked me, like, how do I express my intimate feelings? How do I express my feelings?
Yeah, how do you express your intimate feelings to someone? Does this include social media?
Open a coop. I need to, like, stretch this leg out. Anywho.
Dang, I must have the volume up. Just talk normal.
So, like, I don't really know. Like, I have a very hard time expressing how I'm feeling, because oftentimes as soon as I tell how I feel, especially to a person of interest, I feel like, my feelings usually get turned against me, and I end up apologizing for how I feel. Good or bad, whatever it is, it's like what I'm feeling is always wrong. So I have a hard time expressing myself. Like when I was in a relationship with my ex, it was easy to tell him everything because he was pretty much like a blank wall of a person. Like, that sounds horrible, but he was very like chill. So I could tell him all my like most like extreme feelings, and he would bring me back to center and everything like that. So now I'm navigating this world where I'm like, I have to kind of express myself and kind of be vulnerable to like get some type of vulnerability back. It's crazy. And I don't really know how to express myself without feeling dumb. I don't really think social media has anything to do with that. To be honest, like, yeah, well, maybe actually, yeah, I don't want to look dumb or sound stupid or be like someone that like gets like subtweeted about, or is like, I'm feeling this way, and then like somehow like it gets, not gets out, but like someone similar feeling the same way and then they get made fun of, so I'm getting made fun of. That's very possible. I see it happen a lot where you feel like some like boy and then you get made fun of. So yeah, I guess I am like somewhat social media afraid and express my feelings. I don't know how to express them because I'm afraid of what happens after I express them. And usually it doesn't work out for me. Does that answer your question?
It does. Expressing your feelings is hard, and I hate doing that. Shit is terrible.
It's horrible.
I just like being heartless.
I really...
Heartless.
See, I wish... Oh, man. I wish I was heartless, man. Because I'm so flipping sensitive. And I'm like, wow. And so then it even hurts more because I feel my feelings. And you don't even understand them a little bit. Like, that really sends me off of hell. I gotta express my feelings tonight to this guy because whatever we were trying to do didn't work out, and now he thinks I'm angry, and I was just like confused, and it was angry, but it was because like he was confusing me. Like he didn't express himself, so now I have to sit here and express myself, and now we have to express ourselves to each other after we basically have expressed ourselves to other people. And now it's a big old circle of expressing feelings, but no, we could have just did this A to B. And now it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, bro, what? This is crazy. I literally hate it. I'm sorry. That was a tangent.
That was good, though. We need that. But yeah, like, I'm just now learning how to express my feelings and be transparent.
I appreciate that. I love it. Man, so I ain't gonna front. On Saturday, I was like, yo, I think she's irritated. On Friday, I was like, I think she's irritated, but I need her to tell me why. What's going on with us? Because I value our friendship. And I don't want to push you away. Because I have a bad habit.
It sounds like a relationship. Like
I mean, friendships are relationships,
they
too.
are, and they need watering and care and nurturing. But, like, yeah, I'm doing a lot better. I used to be overly transparent, and it got me in trouble. So after a while, I just stopped. And so I'm trying to find a balance of transparency, especially in my intimate relations as well, and being a better communicator.
Ooh, sis.
It's terrible. Makes me want to throw up. Okay.
Barfing.
What are your views on, you kind of touched on like online dating a little bit, but if you want to say anything else about what your views are on it, and if you've ever met anyone online.
I created Tinder like 4 weeks ago. That's the closest online dating I've gotten, and it was not successful. Like, this guy was like, yeah, can I destroy your life? And I was like, oh, no, disgusted. I was disgusted. The first guy I matched with on Tinder was like, this guy who's like 30 minutes away. He's also in college, and he's in like a close Greek organization to my Greek organization. And so like he's like the only person that I keep up with on Tinder. Like, we talk, he calls me like every day, but like nothing's resulted from it. He just like calls me and we talk for like 10 minutes and then we hang up. Nothing crazy. We never physically met. I'm not opposed to online dating. I just know that my personality, like, I'm not a boring person. I'm very weird and eclectic, and I think you need to, like, see that in person because it doesn't convey well over, like, the formats that you have for online dating. So, for me, I don't think it's going to work. Yeah. Plus, I just really want to be friends, and I think when you go in online dating, you go in with the intention to making things work. And with online stuff, you can make things as perfect as possible. I don't want things to be as perfect as possible. I want it to be natural and, like, real, and like if you have like issues or whatever, like I want to see that. It's like, so yeah, I don't know about that. It ain't for me, Chief, but for some people it is.
Fair.
It's fun to swipe though.
Why did you start using Tinder?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm an RA, my residents use it like casually, and I said, you know what, why not? And I've seen like a lot of my friends on it. Yeah, so I was just like, let me just get on. Not social pressure, social influence, like, yeah. And funny though, when I was with my ex, I made him a Tinder. Yeah, I was a catfish. I made a Tinder as him, and I would just swipe in areas as him. And he was like, that's weird. Stop it. But it was fun and everything. Like, I don't know. So I was like, well, I guess now I can actually make a Tinder for myself.
Why did you do that?
I don't know, bro. It was just interesting to see who was like hitting him up. Like, what type of girls does he attract? Like, it was just fun to see, like, if he was single, what would his like dating life be? I think he'd be I mean, now he is single, so I don't think it's as I don't think it's as like flowing as it was on that Tinder app. I can't speak for him, but like, yeah, no, he was getting all messages. I said, okay, my boyfriend is kind of cute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
What are your views on interracial relationships?
This is bad. So in all actuality, I've only ever dated. I'm black, and I've only ever dated one black man. So before that, all my relationships were interracial relationships. The guy that I dated for like 3 years of high school was Hispanic. He's Mexican. Now, this is where I'm for them, but you have to be careful. My ex was like Hispanic, and he like hung out with like a lot of black people, and so he was very into both like black and Hispanic culture. And so I dating him, I felt like I was dating a black man. And most of the time any guys I've dated were like that, so I never really didn't feel. But this is where I'm like, interracial relationships. Whew. So his friend group was eclectic, and everyone dated someone of another race. Like, he had a friend who was Arab, like a friend who was like Spanish, that was like white, like Spanish, like Spain, one random white person, a black guy, him, and then like maybe like a Nigerian, and everyone dated someone of a different race. So watching them operate, because I hung out with them a lot as a girlfriend, the long-term girlfriend, it was like at times that fetish thing would come out. Like, if the white guy was dating the black girl, it was like a fetish sometimes, or like an Asian girl, like it's like a fetishization that I got weirded out by sometimes with the interracial. And so I forever now have this bias where like I can't look at like very niche couples the same, like a black man and a white woman, or like an Asian woman and a white man, because I feel like every time I see that combination, it's not like by happenstance. Usually it's not like, oh, we happen to like be of this, like these ethnicities or these races, and we date. It's very targeted and like chosen. Like, a lot of black men choose white women, and like they may not think it, but they do. And a lot of white men choose Asian women, and like purposefully, like for the wrong reasons. And so I used to be really for interracial relationships, but now like I have this like bias where I'm like, yo, you gotta really figure out, why are you dating this person? Like, if you happen to like be like, oh, okay, you know, you're this and I'm that, you know, you're purple, I'm gray, whatever, cool. But if you're like, I love purple people because I don't know, something about them, that's a problem. Seeking out a person based off of like something that they can't control externally, especially skin color and culture, is a problem. But then people go, okay, so then why can like you're a purple person, you purposely seek out a purple person? And I struggle with that, like answering that question. But again, being in a relationship, my ex kind of answered that, because we ran into a lot of problems. Like, we walk around stores, people would look at us crazy, this and that. I mean, like, his family didn't even know. We were together for 3 years, and his like parents didn't even know. They saw me as a friend because like the black and brown relations, they were like in those like bad times where black and brown people like did not like each other, so those like resonated, so that created more issues in our relationship. My mom secretly, like not secretly, she has like a lot of like, she makes racist comments, so that would come out sometimes too, and like I'd have to correct her, and I'd be like, why can't you correct your parents like I correct mine? And it's like the different cultural elements, and a lot just melted together, and it was just like, yeah. So now I understand why purple people want to only date purple people, but you can't be a purple person actively seeking a gray person. But you could be like, yeah, I'm a purple person, but I happen to date this gray person. It's cool. It works. Sorry that was long, but that's, yeah.
That was a good one.
I'm sorry.
That was good though. What do you think of the age difference? This question is worded specifically, does age matter to you? Like, if someone, say, the girl is younger than the guy, or vice versa, what do you think of having those differences, those age differences in a relationship? What do you think about those?
Okay, so personally, I have only dated guys who are older than me by like 2 to maybe 4 years. 4 years, yeah. I don't think. I think okay. Age is a heuristic. Age doesn't really matter, but it's helpful, right? Like age is very helpful. Like, basically, okay. So with age, the thing is, I think people do. This is me being more advice than answering, but people use age as a heuristic. They use it to just be like, all right, so I'm assuming that if you are 21, you have this, this, and this by now. And if you're 30, you have this, this, and this by now. So we use age to be like we use age to assume qualities or traits that we want in a person. Like a shortcut to like assume these things. But in reality, that's not always the case. So age really doesn't matter. It's just easier for us to like sift people out. It's like GPA. Like GPA don't matter to a lot of people, but it's easier to like sort people. And so that's what I think. For me, age, I used to think age mattered. I'd be like, man, I like older guys, this and that, yada yada. But since now I'm a 6th year in college, everyone's younger than me mostly, unless they're a grad student. Everyone thinks I'm a grad student. So like part of me is like, wow, you know what? Younger guys aren't so bad. Like they're either bad, and that's not because they're young, that's just because they're bad, or I'm like, oh snap, like, you know, you're young and you're quote unquote mature, like, yeah. So now I'm more open to like dating younger guys, but like originally I was like, nah. But then I realized like age is really just a shortcut to figure out if you want the person or not. That's your question?
Yes, yes.
Who the heck is this 914 number? I'm assuming it's a bill collector.
When you run into problems in your relationship, where do you go to? Where or who do you go to for advice?
Ghostbusters. So I have my best my best friends. Like I'm an open venter, and it's a problem where like I openly vent to people, like maybe like 5 people. Probably like my it's like top, like T-Mobile's top 5. I have my top 5 people where I just like, they all have different viewpoints, and so I expressed it to them. Maybe more than 5, and it's sad, I shouldn't do that, but like I definitely try to have a conversation with my like significant other, but a lot of times there's already a disconnect. That's why we're not like seeing eye to eye already when there's a problem, right? So like I'll be like, all right, I need another perspective on this. So I'm definitely like an open venter where I'll just tell people what's
okay.
I'm definitely an open venter where I just I'm definitely an open venter where I just tell people like it's gonna. So like my best friends from like my sorority sisters / best friends, like friends here, and like maybe like a couple male friends too. And then I basically I just take a poll essentially, and then get the answer, and then go back to the problem. It's not really the best, especially my ex, because he didn't have a lot of friends, or people he called close as like I do. So we had a problem, he would just go talk to himself. And I would be like, let me go survey blank and see. And he'd be like, why you gotta do all of that? I'm like, because I don't get it. Then I come back and be like, I get it now. And like that's how I make sense of what he was talking about. But he could naturally just understand my viewpoint, and I could never. So like, I don't know, difference. Does that answer your question? I'm trying not to be long-winded.
Yeah.
Do we have to transcribe these?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
That's so horrible.
I know. Yeah. It's actually sick, but it's whatever.
Oh, well, Stacey gonna see that both of us aren't here, but you'll have an interview done. That's gonna be crazy.
Right. What are you... Okay. This is a great question. What are your thoughts on long distance? Does it work or not? Why?
Man, y'all are hitting all the points for me today. Okay, so the guy I was with for 5 years and the guy I was with for 3 years, both of us had long distance relationships. And so yes, it can work. Here are my stipulations as someone who's done long distance. So my most recent ex, he graduated in 2017, May of 2017, and he went to St. Louis. I was an hour and a half south of him. So immediately we started a long distance relationship that way. But we had a foundation. Like, we already had been together, so we know what our relationship could be when it was together. And so we were working towards keeping that up. We also had a lot of like trust within ourselves and trust within each other, and like we're very open, honest, and communicated. Cool. So yes, then I moved to California for a year, or well, first 3 months, and then I came back, and then a year subsequently after I had come back to Missouri. And that is when long distance became hard, because it wasn't just no longer a drive, it was a flight, and the flight cost hundreds, and the flight has to be planned, and like we had a week to squeeze each other in, and like, but that wasn't the hard part. The hard part was keeping up that communication and stuff like that. But because our foundation was so strong, it worked. And this is where I think the second part comes in. So I believe it works if you have foundation. I also think it works if you have an end goal in mind. If you both are long, if there's a long distance relationship, y'all separate, right? And y'all don't know when y'all gonna like come back together. It's much harder, and it's definitely more like likely to terminate the relationship. Like, you're in New York and they're in like LA, like y'all don't know if no one's gonna compromise and meet in the middle or move, it's not gonna work. That's it. And people like it just, that's just like logic, and people don't want to admit that. But because I know I was coming back to Missouri, it worked out. Yes. And so if you have an end goal in mind and you have a foundation, those are two ways to make it work. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the hardest part about it is the communication. Because if your communication is whack beforehand and then you go long distance, you're done for.
It's true.
Okay, we're going into like the lengths of relationships / commitment.
Okay.
Okay, what's the longest you've been in a relationship? Just tell me again.
5 years.
What happened? Why?
So I was with this guy for 5 years. I definitely thought I was gonna marry him. He was definitely probably like someone I was like, yeah, I'm gonna marry him. And like, I had gone to California. Ultimately, like, he ended up cheating on me, but like it was a buildup of issues we didn't realize. Like, I had like gone to California and kind of created a new identity for myself, and then we had to like rearrange our relationship off this new identity that I had created because I was finally alone. And so like that worked. We did that. But then like the issues that arose from like this new identity and self invention, and then like just like our distance of being like not in the same college anymore, I think wore on us. And one day, like, it's crazy because we were in the same, this was actually, we were in the same state and everything, like, for a summer. He just cheated on me. It was this summer 2019. Like, we're going in our 5 years, and then all of a sudden he just like cheated on me randomly with a stripper. Like, no rhyme or reason, just like he felt like it, and that was it. That was our relationship.
And how did that make you feel?
I don't know. Like, I wonder how much of the relationship was done. We were together so many years, and I wondered, we would have conversations like, because we worked so well together. It was like, how were we comfortable? Like, were we just comfortable and we just didn't realize there were issues? Were we happy and then like we just didn't address the issues? Like, what happened? Like, because for 5 years, for us to be like pretty damn perfect, like together, like he's literally to this day, like I still text him random things. Like, we're like, we don't talk, but like he'll send me stuff, I send him stuff right now. I mean, it's only been a month out. We worked pretty well. And so what happened? And like, I don't know how I feel, like, because I was okay when we broke up. And that's what the part that scared me, is how okay I was. Even though I know that I was in pain, I'm like more okay than not. Like, we've broken up before for like a week, and that was a horrible week. It was during finals week. It was my last semester before I transferred to Mizzou and moved to California. We broke up for a week, and that was pain. Like, I literally ate grapes and drank. And I ate grapes, cheese, and drank a lot of alcohol that week. Nowhere near the same pain. Nowhere near the same pain. So, like, I don't know how I feel. Because, like, I didn't have the same reaction. Was I over it? Was I over him? But, like, why can't I not stop talking to him? You know? I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I'm just kind of, like, here trying to figure it out. Trying to date other people. It's not really working. Don't know if I'm, like, over my ex, but I kind of am, but I'm not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Same exact thing happened to me.
Really?
Yes. Broke up for a week the first time. Devastated. I was crying all the time. Like, it was the end of the world. And then broke up with him again. And I was just numb. Like, not necessarily numb, but I was just like going through, like, it wasn't as dramatic. I was just like, I mean, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's like, you kind of feel like you've reached your peak in that relationship. And so it's just like, what else is there? Like, there's nothing else that can be met at this point. So it's just like, that's why we don't really feel like that much. But of course, you still tied to him because you had a whole experience, like many experiences, many good times with that person.
Yeah.
So of course, you can't just get rid of those feelings. But still, it's not like what it was, I guess, in a sense. Can I get something? Was that your stomach?
No, that was the toilet.
Oh! I'm hollering. Okay. I thought that was my stomach for a second. Blah, 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 blah. Do you think that people are as committed to their dating relationships today as they were in the past?
I think it's easy to say that people are not committed because, like, I think you have to compare people at the time. You have to compare people at not their age, but, like, you have to compare people at the same point or, like, life milestones, not, like, overall. And so it's very easy to be like, our parents, like, really loved, like, you know, each other and they dated or whatever, this and that. Because I think that, like, when our parents were, like, our same age and our grandparents are our same age, they was probably doing the very same things. It was just different formats. And at the end, now you have all these, like, committed, loving marriages. And maybe not even, like, just maybe marriages that were just existed because of the social times, right? So I think you have to take in a lot of factors to make a bold statement like that. I think we are just as committed, but it's very much like it's later. Like, I think people are even more committed to where they're like, I'm really not about to invest time in a person I don't care for. Like, people are just more honest about their, like, levels of commitment. Like, I'm definitely sure 1 out of 10 people resulting from, like, a marriage, like, 2 generations up, like, grandparents up, where something crazy like grandma got pregnant and so granddad had to marry them. And I think we're much more, like, we're so into commitment that we would never let something like that happen, so as we could, like, not taint the idea of commitment. And so it sounds like it's harder to get to commitment, but I think it's a little bit more worthwhile for what our mindset is. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you think of open relationships?
I'm crazy. No. Like, no. Like, no. Like, people can do it. If you could do it, man, I'm jealous. Like, you know, because you get everything you want in a relationship, but you get multiple people. Like was it Spike Lee's, She's Gotta Have It, Nola Darling. She's not in an open relationship. She's in a lot of situationships. But, like, each person serves a different purpose in her life. And, like, people do that. Sometimes that's what it is. And so, like, yeah, but me being that, I'll just take my, like, 80%, 70% of the pie and keep it pushing. I don't need to fill that 30% up with another person, and I hope you don't either. Because now I'm crazy looking. No, yeah, I can't share. I'm done.
No, for real though. I envy people that can do that. I can't do it.
I couldn't do it. Nope.
I'm feeling so bad. Do you... Wait, have you ever cheated on anyone?
No. Have I come close? Kind of. But no, not really. Like, I've been mostly put in situations where, like, again, I attract people by my personality. I'm not ugly. You can't see me, but I'm not ugly. But, I attract people by my personality is what gives, because I'm not like sexy. I'm not Beyonce or sexy or a baddie. I'm just like cute. And so people have to find me sexy through my personality. So what ends up happening for me is that I attract my friends. And like I've been put in situations where like a guy will find me attractive and it'll be my friend. And then I have to navigate like, great, now I have a friend. And I've been put in some situations where I'm like, I've pretty much had to just let a friendship go because like one time, my ex, the reason why we broke up was because a guy that I considered my friend, basically like kissed me, and like I didn't tell my ex about like the moves he had made, and my ex was very upset, which he had every right to be. I should have told him, especially if I wasn't a guilty party, but I didn't, and so that's why we broke up. So like I've been put in some situations like that. Not like I was trying to cheat or anything like that, like, and not always like that, not extreme, but whatever, but, yeah.
Okay. Do you think there's a difference between emotional cheating and physical cheating?
Yes. There's a difference, and I think they're like Venn diagrams of a problem of cheating, like, I think physical cheating is emotional cheating. We just don't recognize it as that. Like, it's something, I think even physical cheating is an internal emotional cheating. Like, something within you where you're like, I want this being physically, like this person, this entity, that's not what I'm supposed to have. Why do you want that person? Like, is it like you just can't get over your own urges? Like, do they provide something? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's just physical, like it's in the moment, I think there's a lot of more underlying things than what we have. So physical cheating to me is emotional cheating. We just don't really recognize it as that because like they only had sex once or whatever. But it's like you have a lot going on for you to like think that's okay if you say you're committed. Then there's emotional cheating, and I've emotionally cheated before. So maybe I have cheated. I guess so. See, look, there it is. I definitely have emotionally cheated, and that is horrible. Like, both are horrible, but emotional cheating is really bad because, like, you basically are lining up. When I emotionally cheated, I was basically lining up options, and like next, and like it's like a job, right? You're working your job, you're doing what you're supposed to do to keep it going, this and that, but you're secretly like you take your lunch break to apply to other jobs, and that's emotional cheating, and it's like. You feel guilty because you know you do it in private. You don't want other people to see you on Indeed.com looking at other job postings and stuff like that. But, like, that's what you're doing. But you're with people, you know? Like, and it's like, it's like, dang, what's wrong with your current job? Like, what don't you like about it? This job, you've been at this job for years. What happened? And, like, that sucks for, the person. But sometimes, like, that is just you. Like, I realized that was just me, and then when I stopped looking at other jobs and got happy with my job, I was like, okay, I'm actually really happy here. Like, yeah, that was a weird metaphor.
I love it. Okay, now we're gonna transition into sex. We love that.
Sex, baby.
It's okay though. This is only an hour and 14 long.
Sex with me, so amazing.
That's gonna be our transition into sex. Okay, what does sex mean to you?
Oof. All right. Honestly, I haven't had sex with a lot of people. I only had sex with 3 people. Whoever you're listening, whoever it is. And most recently, it was not a random guy, but he was like a friend that, And at that moment when I was leaving his place, well, that's a lot. I was like, I knew what sex meant, and it wasn't that. And like, I definitely feel like you can have sex with people and lots of people and be cool. But that's, to me, like, sex needs to have a, like, to really, one, to have decent sex, you just gotta have, like, know the person. You gotta like the person, a lot, gotta know person. And it's not, for me, worth it to invest, like, that type of energy into someone who, like, is random. And then, like, sex to me is, like, the most intimate you can go with a person. And so once you do that, there's, like, no coming back. And even though it's not, some people don't see it as that, and it's, like, it's dramatic, I really think that, like, if I'm having sex with you, we're, like, we really need to be, like, molded. And I really feel like that after having only sex with 2 people who are in a relationship, my last 2 exes that I've described, and then this not random, he's, like, a friend. He was a friend. And it was just not the same. Not, like, I mean, the quality of sex was trash, too. But, like, just, like, it was all around, like, not the same experience. So I don't be doing that again. Nope.
Okay. Describe how you prioritize physical intimacy in a relationship.
Huh, what do you mean?
So, like, how do you prioritize, like, having sex? Like, what is that? How is it a frequent thing? Is it the most important thing? Is it somewhere in the middle? Like,
that's a good question. I definitely do think that if you're not having sex with the person you're with, there's definitely, like, some errors. And so, like, I would definitely say it's a high priority. Maybe, like, 3rd or 4th on the list. Now, what the other 1 to 3 things are above that, I don't know. Maybe trust or some other stuff. I don't know. But sex is, like, a sign. Like, yes, especially on women's end. Like, women don't want to have sex with you. Like, I view people like, oh, she's tired. But I definitely think women just be like, yo, I'm not messing with you. Because women, like, I think have a lot more emotional, like, startup energy that they invest into sex. And so if a woman is like, I don't want to have sex, I mean, I can't keep generalizing women, but me personally as a woman, if I'm not trying to have sex with you, there's probably other things going on. So it is very high priority, and it's a telltale sign. And so, yeah, I think you should have sex often. Hell, I think about sex every day. I'd be like, man, I would just love to have some sex right now. I would love dick. But I have other stuff to do. So, yeah. But the fact that I think about it daily, and if I'm with you and we're not doing it daily and we have the avenue to do it, maybe not daily, maybe, like, every other day at least. Yeah, that's what me and my ex used to be. We used to be, like, every other day. Yeah. Like, bro, come on. There's something wrong. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to do a follow-up question on that.
Wow, my whole class is gonna throw. I'll be like, I like having sex. Hey, Stacy.
No.
How you doing?
No. I was gonna ask, like, this is not outside of this, but, like, when you do, are you someone that has sex before you're in a relationship or after you're in a relationship, and why?
That's a question. I always considered before my ex and this last guy about, like, a in a relationship type of person, but my ex, like, I was, like, fresh to college, and I was like, oh, this is how things work now. So I was like, definitely, like, we entered a situationship, and I was like, this is enough, right? This is enough. But, like, when I hear my friends talk, be like, shoot, half this problem could be solved if you just didn't have sex with them. Like, and so I feel like underlyingly, like, if I was single, I would still do that. But then when I first came single, I don't know if it was just me being vengeful, but, like, the first thing I did when I was single was like, I'm gonna go have sex with this random dude. Not random, still a friend, but, like, whatever. I don't know. It was just like, I shouldn't know. And, like, then that came back out. Like, that whole, like, armarja, you need to be in a relationship to have sex. Because you feel a lot better about it. And I've only, had 3 people? But I do. You know. So, like, yeah, for me, that's what it is. Gotta be in a relationship.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not about to be doing all that until, like, I know for sure that it's just me and you. Because, one, I'm not trying to be, like, having sex with multiple people. The people that you're having. Because if I'm having sex with you, I feel like I'm having sex with everybody else.
Exactly.
So,
And that's too much. I was just literally saying that. That's why I was trying to mess with Aaron, because I felt he was detached from the web of Mizzou, of sex, of how everyone's messed with each other. But like low-key, he probably still is in it because, you know, he's well connected to his campus. So
we love that.
Yeah, that's two different campuses I have to worry about.
We love that.
It's frustrating.
We're almost done. Do you think people should wait until marriage to have sex? Well, not really. But do you think people should wait until marriage to have sex? Why or why not?
If you could do that, that's fire. I want to do that. I've definitely promised myself to do that. We all took that little dare. Only like 3 of us actually did it. Not dare, but yeah, I think it's dare. It's like 3 of us. Like, it was like yeah. I gotta actually ask God for forgiveness because I technically think I made it under a Christian like oath or something, like a prayer. I don't know. Anywho, yeah, like if you could do it, that's fire. That's dope if you could do it. But realistically, it's not gonna happen. Most likely, the world, especially now today, is too sexual, and you could end up thinking about sex a lot and being curious, and it's just harder to avoid. And so I definitely am not gonna scold you for waiting, but I do think it's beneficial, because there's no comparisons, there's no issues, like everything's just like clean. It's like a clean slate. But yeah, and it's like the more people you have sex with, the more messy and things get. For some reason, sex just complicates things because you could potentially have a baby or a disease or like really just growth of feelings from sex, but like not the same for kissing, right? So it's just, yeah, I do advocate for it, but I'm not sweating it. Go ahead, do you.
All right. How do you view porn? Does it enhance or negatively affect your or relationships in general? You think?
I don't know, because I definitely started watching porn at a young age, like 11 or 12. Yeah. My mom caught me watching porn, but I caught my brother watching porn. Like, it was weird. It was just like, my brother had like saved something on the DVR. It was just me, my mom, and my brother in the house. He said something on the DVR is sports. And me, like, and some boy at the time was like, I'll get into sports. Click that video. Boy, it was not sports. It was porn. And I was like, Joey say porn. So, I don't know. So then when my mom caught me watching porn, she grabbed my iPod Touch, and I was watching porn. And like, most embarrassing thing, my brother really tried to sit me down and be like, why was you watching porn? First of all, let's click that sports video on the DVR, sir. Anywho, that's a tangent. Shout out to porn though, because without porn, I don't think I would have found much about my body. Like, and everything. I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like a lot of women, like, it's not a high priority. And so, yeah, but like porn definitely had me question my sexuality for a long time. I still feel like low-key I'm pansexual, because I be attracted to like really anything that's on porn, and I'll be like, like, I watch a lot of lesbian porn. I love lesbian porn, actually. So like, I'm like, am I like pan? That doesn't seem, but I'm low-key also attracted to women. But I just never actually like went after a woman. Maybe I should try that now I'm single. I don't know. That's not fair though to people. You can't just try people. That's a tangent. Anywho, the question is porn. What I think of it. Okay, so I personally think porn is like actually like decent, but I definitely do think that there are some people like who just need to relax on porn. It can make you I definitely think you can get desensitized. Yeah, and have unrealistic expectations, or just wrong expectations. Like, yeah, but I think that comes with communication experience, where you can like unveil those things. But when you start expecting things to happen in porn, like, you gotta relax. I do think porn though has done more good in my life than bad. Helped me find my sexuality.
Okay, love it. We're gonna switch into marriage. What does marriage mean to you? How do you see it?
I don't know. I was afraid to get married for a long time, and now I'm not as afraid, but I'm not like running to it. Like, it sounds cool. When I was little, like, I was like, oh, I want to get married, because like I watched my mom be sad, and I was like, well, she's sad because she's not married, so that's what the solution is. Marriage to me doesn't mean like a lot. I'm actually low-key afraid of it, of a commitment. So yeah, marriage is just something that not people just do, but like, when I get there, I'll probably like it. But right now, that's such a scary concept. Like, what? Marriage? But I also don't know a lot of people who are married. I don't see the benefits of marriage. Like I didn't come from a happy married household. No one I know is like, none of my family members really are married. Like, I think for the last generations, no one's been married. My cousin got married. I couldn't go to her wedding because she wouldn't let me be her flower girl if she promised, so my mom wasn't having it. That's petty. Anywho, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on marriage, like, it's scary more than, marriage is scary to me more than like a wonderful thought I think about.
Why do you think it? Why would you think a couple should get married?
I think, like I kind of said earlier, love is like an act of continuously choosing. Like, if we talk about a long distance relationship or whatever, you have to really actively choose that person over and over again. Like, in those settings, especially when there's not much to confirm that the love is there. And I feel like marriage is like the ultimate affirmation that I will always choose you, so don't worry about it. And that's what people want. They just like, I just want, love. The concept of love is I always will be chosen. Like, this person will always like value me. And marriage is like that continued promise. And I think that's why people get married. It's because, yeah, maybe money and all that other shit too, but like, yeah.
Do you think there's a right time to get married?
I do. A little old school with this one, I guess, but I definitely think you need to wait until you are established in whatever you want to do. Your careers, like, I don't think it's fair. And this isn't someone who's been in a long distance relation, or not long distance, a long term relationship her whole life with like only two people. It's not fair to like. Okay, so in a relationship, you make a lot of compromises and on like your life and who you are. People don't think about that, but like, if your person, like, if you like this and another person likes this, like, it could be something small as like you like peanut butter and jelly and the person you like is allergic, or as big as I would love to go do film in LA and you literally hate Los Angeles. Like, these like large compromises, it's not fair to ask people to make those before it's not fair to ask people to halt their dreams or to think about you as they're building. So like, you could be done building by like 21. Like, I have I have a resident who he like dropped out of Mizzou and he's like working full time as a software engineer. He's like maybe 19. He makes $80,000 a year and lives in Manhattan. Something crazy like that. He probably is ready to like honestly start like relationships, dating, like eventually get married by my age of 23. But me at 23, I'm still in school. And I want to move somewhere and like start making films and everything, like, and be a filmmaker and a producer. That's not fair for me to ask you to compromise to me moving and it's not. So I think it's really just about where you are in life and how established you are. That was a long-winded answer, but you can't ask someone to marry you if you don't know who you are. And you can't be married to someone if you don't know what you want. And so when you have to be ready for that.
It's still going.
Okay. You have to be ready for you. Like, you have to know who you are, know what you want, and then like kind of be there to like really be married. Other than that, I feel like it's kind of goofy.
I agree. Last question. How do you perceive divorce?
For a long time, I didn't understand it. I had this like, oh, divorce is like trash. Like, if I got married to you, I'm sticking with you. But I think people grow and change, and especially if you get like, if you if you get married when you didn't know who you were or whatever, what you want from a person can change. I also firmly believe in the 80-20 rule. And I think your 80-20 can change. Do I have to explain my 80-20 rule? Okay. Here's my 80-20 rule. A person is not perfect. And in no time a person can be more than 80% good. And when you date someone, again, my concept of choosing people, when you love someone, when you love someone, you actively choose to accept whatever that 20% bad is. Now, that's the best case scenario. What happens in divorce is that you may have chosen that person at 80-20, or that person may have been like 60-40 or 50-50, being 60 good, 40 bad, or 50 good, 50 bad, or whatever. And these, like, you may have ignored those traits and now it's building up. And I think what happens in divorce is that those ratios of good and bad in the person that you see, like the person that you seek, become off and more bad than good. And so then you end up, having a divorce, and people change, and that can happen, or you grow and you realize that can happen, or in some cases, some bad cases, you like, maybe you have like a 70-30, but you fixate on that 30% bad, and so then like you go looking for what makes up that 30, and so now you just really want that 30, or maybe you didn't realize that 30 is actually like 50. Like, for instance, for me with my ex, I really, really like drinking. Like, I don't like drink to get, like, to die, but he hates drinking, and he hates, like, weed. And, like, in California, that's, like, a social activity. Like, you go smoke and drink with your friend. Like, I mean, even in Missouri, you go, like, drink with your coworkers. So, like, it was very frustrating to, like, to have to make that compromise. And that, like, started off as, like, 5% bad, and then that became like a hefty 20% in our relationship, because it's something that I enjoyed and he didn't. And so, like, I feel like that could happen in divorce, and that's what happens. And that 80-20 rule, I think, really kind of is the reason why people get divorced. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was long.
That was cut.
Yay!